Good day, everyone, and I want to let you know my name is Ellen Pensky, and on behalf of Packet Fusion, I wanted to welcome you to today's webinar. It's actually a part of our series of helping you see clearly in 2020. We developed this series because we know that today's technology landscape is dynamic and complex, and it can be challenging to sort through the many options to help you find the best fit for your needs. Today's webinar is sponsored by 8x8, and it's designed to shed light on the ways that you can transform your organization with faster, smarter communications. Our presentation will be about 30 minutes with some time for questions at the end. And please note, because of our large audience, we will be muting all of the phones. So if you would like to ask a question, you can type it either in the questions box on the lower right-hand side of your screen or in chat. Also, I want to let you know that we'll be recording our session and we will make it available to you. And lastly, remember that this is a lunch and learn. So we will be sending out our Uber Eats gift cards to the first 20 people who attended. And we're keeping track of those right now. We can see most of you on already. And we will send out the cards after the session. So now I would like to introduce Packet Fusion CEO, Matt Pingatore. Matt sets the tone and vision for his company, and he has 20 plus years in the industry, gave him a deep understanding of all things telecommunications. Matt will share a few comments, and then I will introduce today's speaker. So go ahead, Matt.
Thank you, Ellen. We appreciate you guys all joining us. Lots of familiar faces, or names, I should say, on this. Lots of new people here too. So just a little history of what we're trying to do. We have a customer base of 550 to 600 premise-based customers that our goal is to get them to the cloud, and our job is to help them get there in an unbiased consultative role. So part of that is education. And so as Ellen alluded to, we're having monthly webinars showcasing different industry trends and then how that particular service will address those industry trends. I look at today is about SLED, state local education, and great vertical, and we do very well in this vertical, as does 8x8. But I see a lot of people on this who aren't government, and this is a very horizontal play, unified communication. So a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about spans all industries. I was at an IDC seminar last week, and this lady, Amy Lind, who's their UCAS specialist, talked about digital transformation. And, I think a lot of people get nervous about the word digital transformation, and, don't be scared of it. It's nothing more than stuff you've already been doing and been working on, and it's basically business transformation. It's a $7.4 billion market. 32% of that is being spent on unified communications, the stuff we're going to be talking about right here today. And it's basically the biggest bang for the buck that you can get in this new digital transformation world. So with that, I'm going to drop it off to Eric for introductions and continuing on.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. And now I'd like to introduce Eric Semp. Eric is going to be our presenter today. He is an 8x8 channel sales engineer. He's going to be sharing industry trends with a special focus on solutions for state and local government, as Matt had alluded to. Eric has been in the contact center and unified communications industry for about 20 years. He's worked both as a software electrical engineer and a sales engineer. And he also has an extensive background in developing artificial intelligence applications for the past 10 years. So we're looking forward to hearing you share trends and your knowledge with us, Eric. So go ahead, and we'd like to hear from you.
Oh, great. Thanks, Ellen. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate everybody joining us this afternoon. And I see that you're all interested in really what Matt had talked about as digital transformations and really how this can improve business processes, not just for state and local agencies, but also for business agencies across the board. Our platform isn't specifically designed for any one type of organization. We like to think of ourselves as a solution that covers and spans every type of business and organization that exists. So what we call our system is called the X Series. Now, X Series is a single communication platform. And that single communication platform is unified communications in the cloud, as well as contact center in the cloud. That allows us to be able to help those individuals that are on-premise-based systems make that move into the cloud, not just with their phone systems and their communication systems, but also with the idea of potentially moving contact center operations or looking at potentially starting contact center operations. So who are we? What do we do? What makes us very special? Well, we are cloud native. Our entire platform started on the cloud, was built in the cloud, and is designed for the cloud. And because of that, we have patents for being IP agnostic. So what that means is we have a really high SLA time based on ISP connections, but we also do not require that you put in brand new lines, brand new MPLS T1 lines into your offices. We can use those ones that already exist. We have PSTN coverage to about 26 different carriers throughout the world, so we do have that global footprint. We can do 911 service directly through our system. So if you're a remote user or a home user, you can use the 911 service and have that emergency services come directly to your home instead of perhaps your corporate offices, which might be in a completely different state or completely different company. We also have a patent on something called geo-routing. Now, geo-routing is very unique in this industry. For those people that are road warriors, you're out and about, you're traveling quite a bit, you're going to different states and even different countries. One of the big issues in the past has been, I've got my mobile device, I'm running XYZ company's mobile application on my device, and I can make phone calls through it. But what's happened in the past is you've been required to, your phone will actually reach out to the closest data center to where your home office is or where your corporate offices are. We've removed that out of there, which can cause latency and connection issues. We know where you're at, and we can connect you to one of our closest data centers, giving you the high quality and reliability of being close to a data center. So you have that type of a connection. We have 15 data centers throughout the world, and that's growing, and they're all geographically dispersed. The nice thing about having those 15 data centers, not just for geo-routing and because of location, but for things like redundancy and disaster recovery, we have you covered. We can continue to give you the type of uptime and continuity that businesses and state and local governments need in the event that there is some sort of an outage or a disaster. And then security compliance. We cover a wide variety of different types of compliances, things from NIST to FISMA. So for a lot of the state and local agencies that really require things like a NIST and FISMA and HIPAA requirements for medical offices, we have you covered there as well. So the global outreach, again, 15 global data centers located throughout the world. It's almost a one-to-one relationship also with our deployment. We have several deployment offices throughout the world. So if you have a global footprint yourself or expanding globally, we can help you with that and have local deployment there instead of having to fly someone from the United States to say somewhere like Amsterdam. We have people there to do the deployment. The beauty of that as well is we have follow the sun support. Follow the sun support is when you make a call into any type of a support center, you don't have to worry about getting someone that just got on the phone at 12:30 a.m. On the other side of the planet. You have someone that is fairly local to where you're at, and they are still fresh and awake and ready to help you out in understanding sometimes the demands of what is happening in that particular local area. That may not always happen with someone who is 6, 7, or 8 time zones away. So more about contact solutions and our collection of world-class solutions. We have a 360-degree holistic view of not just voice, but also things like chat, contact center, the ability to do video meetings, and cloud phone systems. We cover the entire gambit of being able to incoming requests, calls, contact center type of items, things like chat, things like SMS and social messaging. We can cover all of that for you, all within a single package. So we own that end-to-end solution. It allows us to be uniquely placed in the industry they're one of the few that actually can say that we do control from the complete end-to-end solution. But that
and hey, Eric, something that's pretty interesting.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, hey, this is Matt. Hey, so some jumping in on that. You know,
Sure.
Gartner is actually changing in the next couple of years. Gartner's changing the Magic Quadrant criteria such that you have to own 100% of your own technology stack to be even considered. So there's a big scramble for a lot of your competitors out there to buy and integrate, but you guys don't have to worry about that because you guys don't rely on partners or anything like that. You own 100% of your technology stack. Big differentiator.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks, Matt. That kind of leads me into the next thing is, although we own all our entire technology stack, if you are simply looking for a UCaaS solution, you want to be able to implement a new unified communication system within your organization, we can provide just that. We can break up these things in their constituent parts and be able to supply those to you in such a way that allows you to upgrade or replace those things that need to be replaced at the moment. So it's not one massive push into a completely new system. You can do it in little bits and pieces. But really, another one of our real key differentiators is we provide licensing based on what the particular user's role is in the organization. Someone who really doesn't use the phone very much, take something like reception. They may not use the phone very much, so they don't need an upper tier license. We can provide them with a smaller license. It's less expensive, increases the ROI. And as you move up, each X series license builds on the one prior to it. X2 and X4 is really our UCaaS solution. They're the ones that you have the video and audio, and you have chat. As you go into X6 and X8, it takes the X2 and X4, but builds that into the contact center. The real big difference is X2 and X4 is a one-to-one license. It's one license per user. As you move into the contact center, it's a 5-to-1. So you can have 5 concurrent users to one license. That also improves the ROI. You're not having to buy 100 licenses for 100 people, where only 25 may need them at any one point in time. So where have we put all of this together? One of our better case studies that I really like is Bailey International. Bailey International, everything that they did was premise-based. Here's an organization that builds hydraulic systems and builds a lot of replacement parts for heavy equipment and stuff for the heavy equipment industry. They were growing, and like all organizations that are growing, they also suffered growing pains. They wanted to be global. They wanted to have that global footprint, but the technology that they were using was falling behind, and they needed to move it out. So what we did is we came in and we did an analysis. We looked at how we could help them improve their business. They had some systems that were very integral for their success. We were able to integrate into those, the biggest of which was NetSuite. We also were able to go in there almost right off the bat, reduce call handle time by 10 to 15%, and reduce their abandonment rates by 60 to 70%, which is huge for customer experience. In addition, we were also able to reduce their telephony costs by about 15%. All of that overall made Bailey much more comfortable looking at how to expand globally, and we were able to help them expand globally through our contact center, through our team meetings, messaging, and voice. This all together made Bailey International a successful global organization. So as we break this down into its constituent parts, the virtual office, which is the unified communication piece of our platform, provides you a number of items that are crucial in business today, not just voice, but things like video and chat. So if we want to look at or replace your premise-based PBX, we can lay over the top of a current voice solution that you have and be able to kind of semi-move that into the cloud. But it gives you all of the things that you would if you were to move completely to the cloud, but still in that PBX. So you can do this gradually. You don't have to do it in one giant step. But it also gives you some things like ring groups, call queues, barge monitor whisper, which, you know, if you have some people that you're training, inside salespeople, or you're training individuals that work in kind of some sensitive areas in the social work field, you can listen to their calls and help them out and help to coach them. Also provides an auto attendant and an IVR. But throughout that, we also can provide the geo routing and disaster recovery as well. Disaster recovery is key nowadays, again, to be able to provide that continuity of business and continuity of availability, not only within the organization, within a brick and mortar building, but for people that work remotely as well. So you're not necessarily tied to a building. So what we do with all of that, no matter how many tools you have, it isn't any good until you can look at how well it's performing and what you can do with analytics to be able to look at really where are some areas that I need to improve in, or some areas that we may be falling short in. With that, and I will show you some real-time reports here, you can take a look at an organization, all of the outbound calls, inbound calls, various types of reports, and you can break it down into individual queues, you can break it down into individual ring groups, and you can look at employee reports. So you can kind of look to see where calls are coming in and going out. These are all live reports. These are up to the minute. So after a call hangs up, it is added to this report, or as soon as someone picks up a phone, it's reflected here. But you can also look at the device status reports. These device status reports allow you the ability to look at, well, how are calls happening? Where am I falling short? Do I have a lot of people working, using mobile devices? Is that really the best way to go? Again, it gives you a lot of control and insight into your organization and your organization's performance. It's a really kind of key in today's business, not just to have the tools for people to use, but to see how well those tools are operating. So really, overall, the essential part of communications is we work at the speed of light. This has changed dramatically in the past 15 years, and even more so in the past 10. People want to be able to communicate. They want to be able to do it in an efficient manner, that the way that they are most comfortable with, but also to be able to, even if you're working remotely or you're just maybe across the building, you don't want to have to carry stuff over there. So you have all of these tools available to you. You can do file sharing and collaboration through our platform very easily, very quickly. And we can also work with other chat apps through something called Semp. What that does is it allows you might have people in your organization that really love Slack, and that's what they're going to be using. They don't want to switch to another platform to be able to communicate with 8x8 users. What we can do is we can actually integrate in about 5 minutes to that Slack instance, and you can talk between the two systems, and nary the twain shall understand. And it also has a persistent presence on there as well, so you can see who's online and not online. So you've got all of that really great collaborative tools available within our platform. And these are all the different same room connectivity. This is just a small sample of all the things that we can integrate to, and again, within about 5 minutes. So let's take one step further. As we head away from the unified communication, we move into Cloud Contact Center. Cloud Contact Center itself is a fairly new offering really in the industry. Most contact center applications have been maintained on the premise, but we're starting to see the contact center move into the cloud and move into what I call a single pane of glass. So what does a really good contact center offer? They offer things like multi-channel or omni-channel. Those are things like email, web chat, social, SMS, and of course, voice. But one of the important things to remember with contact center, and this is something since really since iPhones became popular, and we can kind of trace it back to that, is that people want to communicate in the way they want to communicate to agents and to things like help desks and IT help desks. They want to do it in a way that they're comfortable with, and that might be via SMS. It might be via a web chat or an email or even social networking. along with being able to make that kind of a voice call. All of that married together can go into a call center and be a seamless form of communication for those agents and for those customers, providing better customer experience. We also provide a built-in IVR with our contact center. You can build an IVR that you can quickly and easily change to meet the needs of a growing business or changing trends in the business. We provide quality management, and that quality management allows you to do things like at mentioning, and at mentions like, I want to recognize someone for superior customer service or superior support. You can do that and have the entire organization really see how well someone is doing. Providing speech analytics and artificial intelligence. It's really the basis of our contact center solution. It is running underneath. It's listening to the calls. It's listening to sentiment, doing sentiment analysis, and really grading the calls and chats and other forms of communication on the fly. And because of that, you can use it as a fantastic coaching tool. We also provide graphical customer journey maps that really kind of shows you how a caller came in, how they moved through the call, and how they exited. It allows contact center managers and supervisors to be able to look to see where they can make potential changes and efficiencies to find out really why are people getting into that call center. Is there a way that we can, within the IVR, using things like artificial intelligence or artificial agents, to be able to handle some of the more simplistic calls like password changes? We provide dashboards and wallboards that are already in there. You can create your own. We have some that are pre-created so that you as a supervisor or manager can look to see how the contact center is performing. How many calls are in the queue? What's the average handle time? What's the abandon rate? Being able to look at that at a snapshot is invaluable. Integrations. Now, we at Current integrate into about 17 major CRMs and minor CRMs, but we also provide a host of APIs that allow you or us to integrate into more specific or very specialized types of CRMs that you may be working with. And finally, forecasting and scheduling. This extends the intelligence of a contact center into the ability for supervisors and managers to be able to better staff their contact centers. So really, in the end, it's about elevating customer experience. But customer experience isn't just about the person coming into the contact center, contacting a contact center, if you will, but also the agent too. The agent, a real issue in contact centers is agent churn. Agent churn is very expensive. Training a new agent, it takes time and takes money to get them up to speed. But if you can provide them with the tools that they need to be better agents, they're more likely to stay in their position, enjoy their position, and provide agent satisfaction. Agent satisfaction directly equates to customer satisfaction. A happy, engaged agent typically will help a customer service any issues or questions they may have much more quickly and much more enjoyably. So we do have inbound and outbound interactions. Those inbound and outbound interactions aren't just voice. You're looking at email and chat. But one of the a great piece that we call Expert Connect or Expert Access. That allows agents that if they get an unusual question from a customer or caller, they can ping an expert using the chat window that a customer cannot see, and be able to ask someone in engineering, hey, I have a customer who's having difficulty with this particular device. Can you give me some advice on the issue they're having? They can chat back with you and give you that information. So that one call resolution, which everybody strives for, is much more easy to achieve. And it also helps to reduce things like average handle time and callback time. One call resolution, average handle time reduced. We also can do co-browsing, which is, again, if a customer needs actual visual help with something that they're doing, perhaps on a website, we can do screen sharing and help that customer out. And also, the best way to grade an agent's efficiency or call center efficiency is really call surveys, which are built into the system. But we all hate being on hold. No one likes to be on hold. No one likes to be in a long queue. We could provide queue callback and web callback so that you don't have to wait. And excuse me, in addition to all of that, everything that an agent does is recorded. It's recorded in several different ways. It's recorded video, so we can see what the agent was doing on their screen, and if they're co-browsing, to see the co-browsing aspect. But we also record the call itself. So we hear the audio and take that audio and transcribe it. So we have a transcribed piece of that. And all of that is going into the record of that individual call and into that caller's record. We also do have our own CRM. It's a fantastic CRM. So those that are looking to branch out into opening contact centers, we can do that for you. And if you do everything on spreadsheets, we can help you move that into our own native CRM. And of course, about 17 different integrations with third-party CRMs. And again, so we take all of that information that you're receiving into the contact center, and we build speech analytics. We're looking at how things are operating within the contact center. And one of the most important things is, why are people calling? What is the hot topic of the moment? And I will show you a live aspect. We have heat mapping. Now what this heat mapping does is it allows us to look into what people are calling about. And we can take these calls and we can, at any point in time, drill into them and go into those individual calls and really listen to the call and look at the progress of the call and the information that was shared. It allows you not just a brief moment in time of what's really trending, but also to be able to go into individual calls just with the click of a button. All of this is part and parcel to our entire system, the AI, the sentiment analysis, the speech analytics, and all of this is out of the box. Anybody with an X8 license can see all of this information, and roughly 97% of the reports that we've already built apply to anything that you may be doing, but you can build your own reports as well. And that, again, key to how your business functions and the ability to be flexible based on what you are looking for. And when it comes to the integrations, just a brief snapshot of some of the more popular integrations that we currently have for virtual office and contact center. These typically these integrations take less than a day to add into your system or be built. Some of them less than 20 minutes. It's a fast and easy way to be able to do that out of the box. So in closing, should you need anything, you have any questions, please, we can be reached just about any way you can think of. If you want to look at any of our, we do put quite a bit out there content on YouTube that you can take a look at if you want to dive deep into any of the things that I spoke about. So I'll open it up for any questions and answers that you may have.
Great. Eric, thank you very much. And Matt, thank you very much for your comments. We do have a couple questions that have come in during the presentation, so I will go ahead and ask those. And one of the first questions, and either Eric, this is for you, or for Matt, they're asking, what's the best way to keep up with all these changes going on in the industry? You guys both have a lot of experience, years and years, so what can you tell our audience?
Yeah, I think this is Matt. It'd be education, right? And aligning yourself with a trusted advisor such as Packet Fusion. And, part of our job is to educate our customer base and future customers on trends and what's going on in the industry. We have a full contact center division. If this is contact center related, we can do a full analysis of what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, if there's better ways. But it really comes down to education. You got to be willing to learn, willing to understand, willing to try new things and have sandboxes and tinker. That'd be my take. Eric, what are your thoughts?
Exactly. We rely on organizations like Packet Fusion, which does a fantastic job on outreach and in doing things like this to keep up with really kind of the industry trends, where things are at now, but where things are going. In addition, really things like Gartner and Forrester really do have, they do have their finger on the pulse of what's going on in the industry. But really, again, Packet Fusion and other organizations do a fantastic job of really coming to organizations like 8x8 and asking, where are things at? What are you guys doing? What's coming out in the future? What is AI? Where is AI going? Which is a really big topic nowadays. They're going to be your best point of education.
Great, thank you. A couple more questions. And again, I encourage any of you in our audience, if you do have a question, you can type it in the questions box or the chat box on the lower right-hand portion of your screen. While I'm giving you a minute or two, a couple other things that came in. We had a person in the audience ask if this solution would replace the Mitel contact center that they have. How would it merge into their current Mitel setup, or is this a replacement, they're asking?
Well, we can lay over the top. So go ahead.
If you want to take that, Eric, you feel free, and I'll kind of add color.
Okay, we really, we kind of look at things like that as an over-the-top solution. So if you currently have a Mitel PBX that you're using, we can lay over the top of that Mitel system and integrate into it so that, again, you have that nice seamless communication piece where you're getting, when calls come in, you get the pop-up into our contact center software.
Yeah, so I think there were a couple questions inside the question, and you would be replacing your existing ShoreTel contact center or Mitel contact center, but this would be an over-the-top, as he alluded to, so it'd be two separate interfaces, but we've been successful in tying in a premise-based system together with a cloud-based system with SIP trunks, and you could have a common directory and transfer calls between those two very seamlessly. So over the top is something we do a lot to get to this next generation to kind of ease the pain of getting to the next generation technology as opposed to a wholesale replacement for your entire solution.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Matt, typically when we do those types of implementations or solutions, people are we're got 2 years left on our Mitel or Cisco contract. And typically when it comes to end of life, they'll move into our entire 8x8 unified communication solution. It's a familiar product, they're familiar with it, and they know us. So it's almost a path to moving to a completely cloud-based communication solution.
Okay, great. And I see another question. Someone in our audience is asking if you have a minimum client size.
We do not. Our client size can be, a small office, 1 or 2 people, up to we right now have the largest single UCaaS deployment in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong, is just around 1.4 million seats. And I'm asking, I've got another gentleman here and he's nodding, so.
And so that's the cool thing about that is the product that they're using for this massive implementation is the same product that you would use for 1, 2, 5, 10 agents.
Exactly. We see everyone as an enterprise, no matter how large or small you are.
Okay, great. I think that's really the bulk of our questions, and we're running out of time here. So I wanted to thank everyone for attending today's Lunch and Learn. Yes?
Eric, I was going to say, I know we were supposed to go to like 1:45. There are another couple more minutes. Eric, you showed a little bit of the client earlier. Do we want to keep playing with the client and show a little bit more of that?
Sure.
Are you in a situation to do
that? You bet. What I can do, I will actually show you my live virtual office client. I'll drag this over.
Beautiful.
This is our virtual office client. The virtual office client itself has the ability to do chats. So I've got several rooms that are set up that I can I call it screaming into the ethos. If I have a question for someone in a group in an engineering group, something I don't know, I can ask the entire group, hey, does anyone know this? And they'll respond back to me. I can go to one-on-one communications with anybody within the organization. I can talk to them individually, or if we've integrated into Slack or some other chat platform, I can talk to them through here as well. If I need to make any phone calls or calls that I've seen, any call that I've missed, or any voicemails that have been left for me, I can listen to those or delete them from within the interface. Any contacts that I have my favorites, any company contacts, but I can also integrate into Outlook or Gmail and load those contacts in there as well. I have a calendaring function that my calendar is integrated into my Google Calendar. I can start meetings from within here. We have our own meeting platform and the video meeting platform, which runs on WebRTC, which is very nice. You don't have to download anything to be able to operate our meetings platform, but you can do collaboration through it. And it also has the ability to work within large conference rooms. I can send and receive fax. I'll see ones that I have here. If I actually recorded a call, I'd see those recordings here. I can play them back. I can also determine how I want to make a call. Do I want to make a call using my computer? Do I want to use my desk phone? I have a desk phone, but you don't have to. Everything can be soft phone. I can also set it up to any call that I make will come and go through my mobile. All of this here is identical to our Virtual Office mobile application. So going between the two, not difficult at all. They look the same. I can stop a meeting or hang up or transfer from a call that I'm on my phone and go directly over here to my PC, all just by hitting *88. It transfers. You don't miss a beat. Very easy to do. So that's really our Virtual Office desktop. Again, very easy to use, very small, really kind of very small footprint. It's not going to use up a lot of memory or really have difficulties on PC or Mac. We right now are in a beta version to run Chromebooks as well. That should be coming out sometime this quarter, the general audience release. So Virtual Office Mobile itself is very, very easy to use. When I was speaking earlier about a single pane of glass, our system, again, because it's web-based, I've got a Chrome browser open. I just type in login.8x8.com. I put in my credentials. I have access to everything that I'm allowed to do. I'm a super user, so I have access to a lot of different items here. But again, everything can be done quickly and easily by sometimes by IT if they need to, and they can do it from the comfort of a tablet they're walking around with. And that can be done very quickly and very easily. It's very intuitive, it's icon driven, and this is really the administrator portal. If I want to, as an agent, again, very quickly and very easily log in as an agent, log me in here. And single pane of glass, very, very easy to use. An agent does not need to go between 3, 4, 5 different applications. That one single application can be done through our desktop, our web-based application. It's pulling it up right now. As an agent, I just logged in, so it's telling me what do I need to do. It's showing me that I'm on a break. If I go available, I would be able to see any cases that have been assigned to me, anybody else that's within my, that's online in my particular queue. If a phone call is coming in, I'd see this flash and I can pick that up. A web chat or an SMS chat, email, and everything I'm looking at. If I had social networking, we'd see a social networking icon there as well. These are all the different things that I'm assigned to. As an agent and as a supervisor, you can make it to where only a person is on the phone, or you can allow them access across the board. Again, allows you some great flexibility, and also allows you to be able to look at monitoring. So I could, if I wanted to, let me go here. If I wanted to, as an agent, as a supervisor, if I wanted to see what my agents are doing, currently nobody's online. This is my test system. but I could click on the screen or even from just within the screen, see what they're doing on their desktop, not just within the 8x8 application. So if I have a bunch of agents playing solitaire on their machine, but there's 20 people on the queue, I want to know why those people aren't playing solitaire. So it gives me a lot of insight as a manager and supervisor into what's going on in the contact center. All, again, very easy to use, all done from within a web browser, so it can be done, again, from no matter where you're at. So it looks like we're kind of coming up on about the last 3 or 4 minutes. I'm happy to entertain any more questions, or, Matt, I can kind of give you an idea of where we're headed with our application in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, please. I'd love to hear more.
Okay. We're really taking deeper strides into using artificial intelligence, not just, as I was talking about earlier, to grade calls, but we're also developing artificial intelligence that works as a chat bot, if you will, so that from within a chat session, a bot can act as a virtual agent so that we can deflect calls from coming into the call center. Anything coming into a call center is kind of expensive, if you will, versus a chat bot that does things automatically. We're also building those as a voice chat bot to be able to operate as a virtual agent within an IVR. So someone calls in and they want to get, they need to have a password changed, or they want to know about, they have questions about an account or something like that, the bot can answer it. Again, call deflection key helps reduce average handle time or remove average handle time within the call center, but also allows you to streamline the number of agents that you would need.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. Love to hear about all that. All right. Any closing remarks you'd like to wrap up with?
Sure. With any of this, it's a lot of information to look at. It's kind of coming at you at light speed. And should you need or have any questions, please contact Matt at Packet Fusion, and we can set up some individual times to be able to go into this deeper and to address any questions that may come up afterwards. But knowing where the industry's at and where it's going forward, we want to be there to help people move and make digital transformation a very, very comfortable and pleasant experience.
So Eric, thank you very much. And just as you were doing that quick demo, we did get one more last question. I'm going to squeeze it in. Sure. We have someone in the audience wants to know, how taxing on the remote computer is it to view the screen live?
None at all. Well, our WebRTC, because it's such a thin client, you're typically going to get like an HD quality video and audio. And it's not taxing on the PC at all. I've actually looked at, monitored it through Task Manager when I had any type of video meeting going on or audio meeting going on, and it was using no more than 5 to 10% of the resources on the machine.
Great. Thank you, Eric. And again, as you mentioned, if anyone in the audience has additional questions, they can reach out live to Matt at packetfusion.com. or to Eric, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. Again, I wanted to thank everyone for attending today's Lunch and Learn. And for the first 20 attendees, we will be sending out Uber Eats gift cards, gift certificates. So they will be coming in your email. Thank you again. I appreciate the time. And we will be continuing our series. Our next month's session will be sponsored by Mitel. But thank you very much to 8x8 for sponsoring this section. Thank you so much.